Thank you for being here today. Can you please introduce yourself and your role in the usnew project?
My name's Jordan Dawson, and I come from the Capilano village of the Squamish Nation. And my role within the usnew residential school project has been research analysis. And so, uh, what that involves overall is working with archival records. I know the earliest record that I've worked on goes back to about 1899, 1898. And so, overall, what I do is look at really old records with very old writing on it and transcribe it.
Why was it important for you to be a part of this project?
That's so hard for me to put into words. I know when I saw the job posting, it didn't necessarily entail what I would be transcribing. But once I realized that I was working with records that involved the residential school, I realized I was picking up the work that my grandma was doing. And so I've heard stories of how all four of my grandparents are residential school survivors, but I've heard stories of how my grandma would go around communities and share with people that it's okay to talk about what happened to them in residential school and that it's a healing journey, and that these stories really need to be brought to light. And so once I knew that she was a part of doing that type of work, it felt like I was just following in her footsteps. The work really kind of found me. So this is one of the applications for admissions that it would transcribe. So they had one for each student, and it would detail things like the date that they came, the community they came from, their age, and to see, my grandma's name and that she was 6 years old, and it's got my great grandpa's name on there.
Very emotional to read. You do this all day. How do you prepare for each day?
That's a really good question. I'll make a cup of tea first because I feel like the warm liquid is honestly just a nice hug. And then I light 4 candles as well while I'm working because I'm very aware that I'm not doing this alone. And I'm very aware how sensitive these records are and how our survivors in residential school, they're still not really resting, it feels. And to just remind myself to do this with an open heart and an open mind, and to just ground myself as much as possible while working with these records.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing.